have a majority of the time is going to be
staff asking
staff
Is
questions.
That crazy?
And the members are going to be sitting on the sidelines. I mean, it's almost like Adam Schiff doesn't want to be seen in front of the TV cameras when he has to answer questions, real questions. And the same goes for the Democrats. Don't even want their own members to ask questions.
Staff asking staff. Which one of those individuals has ever put their name on a ballot and directly accountable to the people? I mean, that is not how the United States Congress and our government is supposed to work. That is the most ridiculous. But that seems to be what they're planning to do.
And then the funny part is this Norm Eisen guy, okay, who's a partisan hack who used to run this phony ethics group that would file all these bogus ethics charges.
They filed against ethics things.
Filed against me, filed against you. That's going to be their lead staffer next week. I mean, the guy's a joke. He was one of these guys, and I'm paraphrasing here, but right when Trump was sworn in, this is the guy who went out and said, "Viva la resistance. The war starts today," as he's still getting his phony ethics group to file ethics complaints against us. That was 3 years ago. Now, fast forward, they've brought this guy on as a part-time staffer to be their lead guy to ask questions because they're afraid. They won't let Schiff ask him. They don't want Nadler asking him. They hire this guy who hates Trump, obviously.
Right, and who asked questions in just their most recent, the first hearing in the Judiciary Committee on this impeachment. So, look, we'll see how it goes Monday, but I'm like you. I think this whole thing has been goofy because never forget, the facts are on the president's side. The facts show that 4 facts, I always say it this way, have never changed, will never change, have always been the same. We have the transcript, no quid pro quo in the transcript. We have the 2 guys on the call, President Trump, President Zelensky, who've said there was no pushing, no pressure, no nothing. We have the fact that during the pause in aid, the Ukrainians didn't even know that there was a pause at the time of the call. And most importantly, they never took any action. They never promised, never started, never announced they were going to do an investigation into anybody or anything before the aid was released. But somehow, we're going to impeach the president. And the reason they're doing it, and we should never forget this, is they have never accepted the fact that the American people wanted to send a guy like Donald Trump to this town to shake it up. And 18 days ago, Nancy Pelosi on one of the Sunday shows called the president of the United States an imposter. Speaker of the House calls the president of the United States of America an imposter? Are you kidding me? That shows the disdain they have for us regular people from Central California, from Western Ohio, and all us regular 63 million of us who voted for Donald Trump and he won an electoral college landslide. That shows how much they have never accepted the fact that he's the president.
And the worst part is that Donald Trump himself, President Trump himself, admits he's not a normal politician.
That's why we elect him.
He knows he sometimes doesn't say things right. I think sometimes even you and I are like, oh gosh, there's some tweets that we just put back in the tweet holster. But if he didn't tweet, there's no way he could get any attention because the media is so fake and phony.
Of course.
And the results have to speak for themselves. Look, at some point we have the best economy, largely because of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that we passed. Also because the deregulating that Donald Trump has done, and just a little local issue for the San Joaquin Valley, Donald Trump is the first president to give us back any water.
Yeah.
In my entire lifetime, it's going to be the first chunk of water we get back. We're poised to get water back finally because we flush it out to the ocean, right? We flush all this water out to the ocean. You've heard me talk about this for many years. Water goes out to the ocean. Trump comes to the valley and says, what? Because I thought you guys had a drought. Well, we have droughts all the time. We're in a desert. California's a desert. If you don't move the water from the Sierra Nevada mountains around the state, Trump went right to work, followed up on his commitment when he was in the San Joaquin Valley. He said, look, I'm going to get this water back going. So in January, the new rules are supposed to be implemented.
That's awesome.
Okay, based on new science. But our own governor in the state of California is going to sue the Trump administration so that those new rules cannot be put in. It's just incredible.
Radical environmentalists. Devin, that's a great point. That's what the American people elected this guy for, and that's why they like him and why you and I like him so much. He does what he said he was going to do. And I always say this, we make this job way too complicated. Our job is really basic. What did you tell the voters you were going to do when they gave you the privilege to come here and serve them, their communities, their families? What did you say you were going to do? When you get here, do that. And that's what Donald Trump's doing. That's what you've been doing, fighting for fundamental principles, fighting for making sure that you don't have an FBI doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's what you've been doing. And that's why people around the country appreciate you so much and appreciate the president so much.
Well, thank you. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, but I do want to ask you one last thing. You've been on the House Intelligence Committee, Impeachment Committee now for a little while. We want to keep you. I know you're not going to stay for very long. But what's been your worst part? We'll start with that. Being on the impeachment committee, and what's been your favorite part so far? Being down in the secret star chamber down there with us.
First of all, I don't know how you do it down in that bunker. I mean, it's just like no sunshine, and you got to leave your cell phones outside. It's like I don't know how you do that day in and day out. So God bless you for doing it. The best part's been serving with you and the guys on your team. I mean, I actually felt we came together as a group in defense of the truth, in defense of the Constitution and the principles and the American people's will when they elected President Trump. That was the best part. Working with our team, working with your team and your members was definitely the best. The worst part is how unfair it was, what Adam Schiff did. I mean, only their witness. Remember in the depositions, Devin, when every single Democrat question asked, the witness had to answer. But Adam Schiff stopped witnesses from answering questions from us. Certain questions that he thought might get to any type of knowledge about this whistleblower. It was a congressional subpoena, so that was the worst part. The best part was serving with guys like you and your team.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jim. And we don't want to lose you from the House Impeachment Committee, but we do hope the House Impeachment Committee comes to an end soon. It sounds like it might be, because it sounds like we may be voting on it here in the next few weeks before Christmas. But Jim, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You bet.
This is Devin Nunes. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Devin Nunes Podcast. We invite you to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And remember, you can download this podcast on iTunes or at devinnunes.com.
Storm clouds been gathering so long, I don't know.
The darkness around us leaves no easy road.
We started wondering if every road dead ends our dreams. Wind whips the dust up and rain's pouring down.
Good people struggling in every hometown.
We've started wondering if we even matter at all. We'll take that hard road to happier days, 'cause we kept our American faith. Now it's not our first trial by fire like this.
It's nothing hard working family can fix.
We've got the power to save it all here in our hands. We'll take that hard road to happier days, 'cause we kept our American faith. As we, the people, free and strong, fight through the dark night toward the dawn. Freedom marches on. Not afraid.
That's why they call her the home of the brave.
With a prayer and a purpose, we're already half the way there. We'll take that hard road to happier days, 'cause we kept our American faith.
Paid for by Devin Nunes Campaign Committee.